Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Cinema Wave podcast here at the Culture Wave Media Network, and we are here to discuss a film that we all just saw at the Montclair Film Festival. It is Hamnet, co-written, and directed by Chloe Zhao, starring Jessie Buckley and Paul Mescal. I'm going to be one of your hosts. My name is Darian. I am joined by Liz Seiko.
Hello.
And Zach Miller.
How's it going?
So I saw this movie before you guys did. I didn't see it at Montclair. We're coming off of the Montclair Film Festival, or at least the first weekend of the Montclair Film Festival this past weekend. And you guys saw it on Sunday?
Yeah.
Right? Sunday. And I saw it at TIFF. I was telling you guys this when we were out to dinner before we went to our respective screenings, that this movie sold out a 550-seat theater at TIFF. And it was probably the hottest ticket at TIFF, because there was only one screening for it.
Okay.
So there was a lot of hype around it. And it's a movie where I would suggest to everybody, I'm sure you guys are going to say the same, you should bring your tissues, because there was a lot of sniffling in my crowd. There was a lot of people crying, like full-blown crying in my crowd.
Wow.
So it's an emotional movie, but I'm very curious to hear your guys' first thoughts. So Liz, give us your first thoughts on Hamnet.
Yes. I went in expecting to love it, and I walked out loving it. Yeah, it's a very powerful film. It's really beautiful. It's some of my favorite performances of the year. I think that the one thing I do worry about with this film is that it is getting such hype that people that see it maybe later than the initial wave of first watchers might feel that, I don't know, when like everybody's praising a film and then you see it kind of later after all the hype
And then you're
comes
like, it's
out.
a little too overhyped.
It's a little too overhyped. I could see that happening, even though I do think it's I love this film. I wouldn't change anything about it. I think it's beautiful. For me, because the first time I really heard about it was from you when you came back from TIFF, and you told me you're like, it's very emotional, lots of crying. There was definitely sniffling in our screening, but I wouldn't say people were full on sobbing. And I expected myself to sob. I didn't sob, definitely teary-eyed and like sniffles here and there, but I think I wouldn't necessarily call it a sad film. It's just a very powerful film. Like there's some very heavy scenes, and I don't think necessarily you can expect to cry from those scenes, but more you were just completely blown away by the performances and just the overall topics and message that they're trying to handle and talk about in this film. It's very well done, and I think that it's just beautiful. Yeah.
Zach, what about you?
Yeah, I've seen 3 movies at this film festival so far, and every single one of them have a form of absent fatherhood, and I thought that was something really crazy. But there is this movie is so devastating and beautiful and raw and rich with emotion. It's a movie that really hinges on 2 great performances. It's got Jessie Buckley is someone everyone needs to watch now as an up-and-coming star. And, I mean, she's already put out some great work. She's going to be in Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride next year, too, I just realized. And she gives such an Oscar-caliber performance. And by no means am I sugarcoating that. I think that there is just so much with this movie that is so brilliant. And Chloe Zhao really knows how to... Liz, I was telling you that even was that she is fixating on the story of the 2 characters instead of the big picture of Hamlet. Like, this is a film that could easily get caught up in the backdrop of Shakespearean England and the big Shakespeare celebrity, but it really focuses on the emotion that was infused into the story, as well as the impact it has on 2 people's lives and the tragedy that comes through with it. So it's just a moment of like pausing and somber reflection, and how did we get here? Why did this tragedy fall on us, and where do we go from here? It's all like very real situations that you don't have to empathize with or understand for a time period. It's all a timeless piece for that reason, and I think that's why it's going to be so effective. But it is really like Chloe Zhao really outdid herself with this one, and like I really love this movie.
You know what's funny is when
You just talked about the theming of the movies you've seen at the festival. I realized that there's another movie you're going to see that you haven't seen yet that also has the exact same thing.
Sentimental value.
No, well, that too. But The Secret Agent, you see it at the beginning of the movie. But
Like
it's
an absent father.
yeah, like no, like it's like part of the plot, kind of,
Wow.
which is so interesting. So maybe that is a theme that they're going with.
Maybe.
I guess when we talk to Trisha and Tom, I have to ask that question. But Jessie Buckley in this movie, now I really love her. I really do. She's been nominated before for The Lost Daughter, which I don't know. I've never heard Zach's thoughts on that movie, but I'm pretty sure you and I love that movie. And I think it's like one of the most underrated movies I feel like I've seen in the last 5 years, and she anchors that movie like so well. So I was really impressed with her. And I think I said this on the TIFF recap, and I'll just reiterate it. I've never felt so confident going into an award season that someone's going to win. Like, not even that she's going to get nominated, like that I really believe there's nobody else that can compete with what she's doing in this movie. And it's incredibly impressive. So every time Jessie Buckley is on screen, I absolutely love this movie. Anytime Paul Mescal is on the screen, I am not connected to the character. And so that is a big thing that I will talk about across this review, where I didn't connect with William Shakespeare at all. He was a character that but I will say, by the end of the film, the ending sequence of the movie is the most beautiful sequence in the entire film, and it kind of got me back around.
That's the part that made me cry the most.
Yeah, so exactly.
Yeah.
Not the scene that made everybody cry in the theater. It did make some people, but like the big scene, obviously, is the scene where something significant happens, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, I think that this movie, on a technical level, is one of the best of the year. I think that the costumes are incredible. I think the score is really great. I think that the camera work is swift, and it moves in a direction that is really inspiring, and it lends itself to a lot of things. My issues with this movie lean in William Shakespeare as a character and not really connecting. And I do think that there are moments in this movie that drag and are boring.
Oh,
to me.
Okay.
Now, again, might just be because it's not my cup of tea. The pacing isn't exactly what I love in my movies. The other two Chloe Zhao movies I've seen, I have not loved. So I don't know if it might be just a filmmaker thing, but I do think that this is the best movie she's made that I have seen. I like this movie a lot more than Nomadland, and she did Eternals, which is, you can't even, like, it's a different thing. But I will say that the work that Jessie Buckley does in this movie are like automatically elevates it to like a positive score for me, because she's so, oh man, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, she's so engrossing. Like, everything she's doing in this movie is great. There's a great supporting cast around her other than Paul, in my opinion. I think that Emily Watson does good work for when she's on screen. Jacoby Jupe literally might get nominated for his work as Hamnet in this. And I feel like I haven't seen acting from a child like that in such a long time. And even the work of his sister, Judith, is great as well. But yeah, so for me, not that we have to like transition into this, but like, I'm curious what you guys thought of Shakespeare as a character, because for me, it was like, he was so self-centered and he was so self-loathing. And I know that that's kind of who he is, but I didn't care. I didn't feel for him. It wasn't so, like, I felt for him obviously when the big thing happens, but, and like I said, it kind of comes around in the end, but like a lot of the early acting, or I guess just the way that the character is, I wasn't connecting to at all. And I kind of felt him to be annoying at times, where Jessie Buckley, I felt much more enamored with, and I wanted to see more of what was going to play out with her, even though it is obviously a story about a relationship.
Yeah.
Liz, can you talk about like how you perceived like the presentation of Shakespeare? Because I liked what you said to me after the screening. Like, you didn't realize because of the build-up. Yeah.
So, did you know going into this that Paul was playing like William Shakespeare?
I found that out maybe a day before I went to the screening. I had no intention of seeing this movie, and then I heard so much buzz about it. Again, because I had no intention of seeing it because it's not my kind of movie.
Yeah.
Necessarily. But then when I saw it, I was like, let me go into it. And then I was like, oh, it's about Shakespeare. That's interesting.
So for me, and like, I think that's a huge spoiler, honestly. The way the film goes, it shouldn't.
Well, it doesn't show you in the beginning, I guess.
At all, until you start really thinking I mean, I kind of had my hunches just because the entire time I'm like, how does this relate to Hamlet? I get it. Hamnet and Hamlet can be interchangeable in like language. And then I'm like, what are we doing? Because I purposely didn't look at any trailers or read
And you
anything
didn't
about
read the
this.
novel?
No.
Okay.
And so I went in pretty blind, but on purpose. And it wasn't really until I just started getting hunches. I was like, maybe he's supposed to be playing Shakespeare. And it really wasn't until he was being shown with his acting troupe practicing like lines that I was like, oh my God, okay. Like he's supposed to be William at this point. And then they do the whole name drop when they first get to at the end when they're like, who are you here for? And they say William Shakespeare. So for me, I think it's like almost like as big of a spoiler as like the other thing that happens in this film. And what was the thing that you wanted me to talk about?
No, just like that, like to pretty much that of just like how because I also felt the same way. I went in completely blind, and I was also wondering if this was just a love story and family tragedy that inspired Shakespeare as like a whole nother person. Like this was just a separate family.
Interpreted.
Yeah. And it was just like, because I'm hearing the rumblings like he's a tutor and then he's like good with language and stuff, and then I was like, okay, he's probably just a writer or something. But then it was like when he's like, I'm on contract in London, I have to go. Then I was like, oh, okay, I think he's fully committed to this. This is kind of his origin story. But it's similar to how kind of what Liz was saying too. And then maybe that's why you didn't connect with it as much. Like for me, I liked it in the sense that it threw away the celebrity of Shakespeare, and I don't need to know his craze that he sent London through to understand, because the story's about the tragedy and the love between them. So I like how it's focused on relationships instead of the powerhouse that is Shakespeare, and then the infamy that is Hamlet. Like I would have been a little bit more overstuffed if they were like, oh, Act 1 of Hamlet was inspired by this thing, and Act 2 was like that. Like I don't need every bit and piece to know that this major event inspired such a great work, and then it was, just so burdensome and cumbersome for them the rest of their lives that you could feel it through the energy. There wasn't even a need for explanation. But yeah.
No, I think that, I mean, again, it could have affected the way that I was looking at it, but at the same time, and like I said, I don't think it's Paul's acting. I think it really.
Well, that's what I wanted to know. Do you think it's the take on the role? Like, do you think it's Paul's performance, or do you think it's the way that the role's written?
I think some of it is like some of the way that the role is written, like there's some over dramatization, but even that, so that I guess plays more into the acting part of it. I think that what Jessie's able to do is that she kind of blends like nuance as well as being super expressive, and she does it in a way that feels authentic to where I don't feel it all the time throughout with Paul.
Do you have any specific moments that you weren't?
I saw the movie a while ago.
You saw it a while ago.
So you just saw yesterday. So, or a couple days ago by the time we're recording this. But there's a specific scene where he's on the edge of a cliff, and I don't like it in general.
Oh, okay.
And like that's something where I'm like, it's a little too over dramatized. I didn't connect with the character. And that's the interesting thing is because that is actually a parallel to correct me if I'm wrong. It's parallel to like when this event happens, that's his reaction to it. And then there's Jessie's reaction to it. And now Jessie's reaction is overt. It's over the top, but it feels more authentic.
Like the yelling that she like that.
Yeah.
That for me was the most beautiful.
Oh yeah. It was like
crazy.
I was in my seat, like gripping the seat.
Yeah.
Like it was one of those moments where you were like, oh my God, man, like the devastation of what that was. And what they try to do with Will is they try to do something, I guess, maybe a little more artsy. I don't know what they were going for with it. And maybe that's why I didn't connect to it.
And this is just my interpretation of it, is I think what they're trying to really show through his character is he's not really able to deal with his own emotions. And the only way he's able to is
through art,
through words,
yeah,
through speaking it into iambic pentameter, like essentially, is the only way that he's able to fully articulate and fully process his own feelings is through dialogue versus what's Jessie Buckley, Agnes's character. Like clearly she's much more like she's into witchcraft. She's much more as spiritual in her body. Her fingernails are always dirty, so she's much more in her body and expressive. Versus him, I think he's just all in his head at all times, which comes off douchey. But I think that in the beginning especially is needed because it's supposed to show like, yes, he doesn't know how to be dealing with this stuff until she finally gets to see what he's feeling through his play.
Yeah.
And that the only way that he is able to like deal with it is through putting it into words because he doesn't know what else.
And again, for me, from the connection standpoint, that's what I connected to the most. And it might be because of like my arts background, that like speaks the same to me. So again, it's probably not as much. That could, I guess, be something in the writing, or it could be something in terms of the direction. It could be something that's in the novel, like it's, but
like I liked that we didn't like him in the beginning and the whole time. Like I enjoyed that there was that friction of him always being gone and her being like, like you weren't here.
Yeah.
You weren't here. Cause it's true. It's like, yeah. And you do kind of hate him in a way also along with her, but then it gives that whole like breath and release at the end to know that even though he wasn't there, he still is feeling everything that she is. He just isn't expressing it the way she.
Yeah, which is beautiful. That's why I think it's the most beautiful sequence in the entire movie because of that. So
I wish you liked his role more.
Yeah, it's just I didn't connect with him as much. And so I want to see, because I know you love this movie too, Zach. I don't know have you seen After Sun?
Oh yeah,
you have.
Yeah.
Okay, so like that's what I know you love that movie. But like I've heard like that's like his best performance, and it's like the things I've seen him in, I haven't seen him in much.
I mean, Normal People, you gotta get on.
I still have.
You gotta get on.
But like the only things I feel like I've seen him in is this, and like I don't even.
Gladiator.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen him in anything even before Gladiator. I was thinking, is he in Lost Daughter? No.
He is.
Yeah. So yeah, Lost Daughter. Yeah, he has a very small role in Lost Daughter, and I think he's good in that. I will say this, shout out to him for working with female filmmakers.
Right, you haven't seen all of it.
Love that. I haven't. Oh yeah, he's in that too.
He's going to be in The History of Sound.
Okay.
All the Strangers, he was good.
He's going to be in. He's going to be playing Paul McCartney, I believe. I mean, I'm looking forward to that. I like Sam.
I think you need to do Normal People and After Sun.
Yeah, because it's like
it's
not. I'm not sitting here and being like he's a talentless human, like he's a talentless actor. That's not what I'm saying at all. I haven't connected to him in the two roles that I've seen him in. So, I don't know.
I like that kind of stuff sometimes because you're like, some of these people bring their A game and it's so different from what you're used to seeing that it keeps you interested in a mysterious way of like, whoa, what are they coming up with on the fly? Or like he's also theatrically trained in England, and I think he's from Ireland. I'm not sure, but he's from the UK in that region. So he's definitely got a different approach to what we're used to. So but yeah, Normal People, I just cracked open Liz, so I'm getting to it. He's really good in that.
I think the thing with so that's the thing too. Like, so he's a pure thespian, obviously, and it's like it's not that I don't have appreciation for that stuff. You're an actor, right? You love it, probably.
I think what he did on this film, it's hard. That's hard.
I'm not saying it's not.
Shakespeare into a camera centric art because it's like, yeah, it's already built for being over the top.
I'll go a step further, DJ. I will say that he has way better chops than Timothée Chalamet, and he just hasn't had the body of work.
He just hasn't. The Shakespeare people are coming to me.
He just hasn't had the body of work yet. Yeah. I'll get them all. Come on. Marty Supreme me, right?
Yeah. Well, so all right. So
he needs the body of work, I think.
Fair.
Yeah.
But this is what I was gonna say and why I think I really do have a feeling I'm gonna like both After Sun and Normal People. I connect so much more to characters that feel more lived into like the regular human experience, the everyday modern human experience. So like some of my favorite, like that's why one of my favorite filmmakers is Mike Mills, who does like these very like 20th century women beginners. Like these are stories that are like, they feel lived in, they feel like whatever. So I don't want to, this is not a bad movie by any means. It's just something I wish I connected to more. and I don't think I did the same level that you guys did. But you guys loved it, so I'd love to hear more about why you loved it, because obviously,
Well, I think it's also I can just appreciate like I don't know. I grew up and like was trained of like appreciating Shakespeare and like understanding it, and I think it gets like if I had to put 5 Shakespeare films in front of me, like 4 out of the 5 are gonna miss because it's such a daunting task, and I just feel like this project could have gone completely off the rails because of the weight of like bringing to life Shakespeare. And to your extent, I don't know if we're supposed to find him relatable because in my mind, like one of the greatest writers of all time, I don't really think us people in 2025 who are just like normal people are really gonna be able to relate to the greatest writers ever. But I think that's why they make him not the relatable person. They make Jessie Buckley's character the heart, like, and center of this story. Also, I will say, as much as I love it and I love Paul Mescal, Jessie is acting circles around him in scenes. Like she is doing leaps and bounds compared to what he's doing emotionally.
Yeah.
But I think that may have been what they wanted.
Yeah, I think it's centered around her. I haven't read the novel, but I'm sure she's more of the central focus.
Because if he's also like weeping and crying with her, I don't know if she would be as dynamic as a character, because then she doesn't have that friction of like not wanting him where she needs him to be. Yeah.
So also for reference to what you're saying, Paul Mescal is being pushed in supporting actor.
I know.
At the Academy Awards. So that is as clear as anything in the eyes of the filmmakers that they believe he is the supporting role. Which it's the screen time isn't shared. I think she has majority of the screen time. I'd have to look at the numbers.
I think she does when London starts getting, like, he goes away to London. I think there's more Jessie for sure.
Yeah.
But I could also see him totally being the lead actor as well, and them both just being lead actress and lead actor. I think this is just now getting into the politics of Oscars.
Let's talk about it.
Hearing that Timmy's coming in like swinging hard, and so they're like, okay, we haven't really been hearing of like any set in stone supporting actors yet, so let's put Paul in there, right?
A few.
Yes.
Any like
supporting is a tough category.
Category, but there's no one that
I think he's
hitting it out of the park.
So this is what I'll say. I think he's guaranteed to get a nom if they push him in supporting, where I don't think he would be a guarantee in lead.
A nom. Yeah, a nom. Yeah.
A nom. I think that I don't think he'll win though.
But like
I think Sean Penn and Zach talked. I think you talked about this last week or whenever last time we were talking about it. Maybe we was off camera, but right now, like the odds are heavy in Sean Penn's favor.
Yeah,
and they might get a second nom in the category with Benicio. I don't think they will, but there's more of a push for that right now. We just saw a great supporting performance in a movie called Jay Kelly that we saw at the festival with Adam Sandler, and he's never gotten an Oscar nomination before. Like,
I know. But like none of these are like set in stone, and so I feel like that's why they're like, oh, we have a better option if we put him in that category.
I don't disagree.
I think I think the lead actor category, I mean, that always gets like pretty down to the wire, but there are so many good releases this year that I could see that filling up faster. So I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I think it's a better, safer bet to put him in supporting it.
Yeah, for reference, Gold Derby, which is one of the biggest like odds sites for this stuff, Mescal is third in supporting actor, but the two ahead of him are the two performances that I've seen this year that I think are way better.
That you just mentioned?
No, Adam Sandler's great too, but Sean Penn in One Battle and Stellan Skarsgård in Sentimental Value.
Oh, okay.
Who, by the way, never been nominated for an Academy Award. Stellan. Never been nominated. One of the greatest actors that we've seen, never been nominated. So,
Mamma Mia.
I mean, that's one of your faves. That's one of your absolute faves. But yeah, I think that I mean, we're already in Oscar talk. We're so excited about Oscar.
I am very excited about it.
Zach, I want to hear your thoughts on the work of the children in this movie, because again, to me, like what we're talking about, obviously the work of the adults is major. We're talking Oscar nominations. But what Jacoby Jupe and Olivia Lynn's doing this, and even like, I don't know if you guys knew this or realized this or not, but you have Jacoby Jupe playing Hamnet and then you have his older brother Noah Jupe playing Hamlet on stage at the end,
Oh, wow.
which is like, for me, if you know that, to me it added an extra layer of like
That's really
emotionality. Like I was like, oh my god, man, like he looks just like him because it's his older brother. So what did you think about and the ending sequence? What did you think about the kids in the movie and the way that the film wrapped up by the end?
Yeah, I thought that he was really great. Jupe, the younger Jupe. Younger Jupe.
The younger Jupe.
Younger Jupe, little Jupe. Yeah. He, I mean, there's been a lot of movies lately. I feel like they don't get child casting correct necessarily, or it's very difficult to find young stars that have that on-screen presence, because you're asking a lot from little kids to come up with that intensity and stuff. But there were several moments in this movie, especially when his sister is starting to, you think she's starting to die of the fever, that it's really difficult for him to process all that, and his energy that he brings in that crisis of the movie is like really meaty and like awesome. I mean, that's stuff that's even hard for grown actors to get. So he really nailed it. Even his like very just completely washed emotion when he was looking back and forth through the tunnel and going into the afterlife, and moments like that I thought were so great. There was just so much of him. It was also a movie I didn't know how much they were going to give the kids like screen time. I thought there were going to be points of the movie, but I didn't know if they were going to be used as just like an emotional crutch or play as key members of the cast. And I was really surprised that they were given so much time and then they had all this energy. So I thought that was really great. But yeah, I mean, that ending sequence, just sensational stuff. Like it hits every bone of like what I can imagine a parent goes through if they lose a child. And like Jessie is just having these outbursts and she is just going through so much pain, and it comes to this moment and she's in the middle of the theater and she's just trying to shout and get that out and like, hey, I'm right here for you, like I'm right here, like, do you hear me? You know, she's trying to reach out to Will, and then there's just so much pain coming through the story and Will's own like moments up to that point in his life that he's putting into the performance. And then the reach out to Hamlet was so amazing because it's so symbolic of like, you know, when someone goes through that kind of pain and loss, you just want someone to reach out for you, and you just want to get pulled out of this dark void that you're stuck in, and this dark cloud that is like so unshakable. So when you see so many arms reaching out for him, it was just like, wow, this is, you know, what a support system is for them. And that like it was like all these people get it because they've been through their own shared losses in their own way. And then like that was another like capstone of like, this is what the theater meant to people back then, is like they can all come and have this shared experience, kind of like what we get out of movies. Is like you get something that you can kind of relate to, or you know people that can relate to it, and then when they're all reaching out for him, they're like, I've been through this too, or I've been through something like this too. And Jessie's pain is also like infused into that. Will is like putting his own sense into that, and it gets through to the audience. And I thought that was just so moving and so like great. And there was very little dialogue in that part too. It was just through the speech of the actual play, but it was so great. Just like you feel like the whole moment of the movie has been building up until there. But yeah, it was really great. Liz, what did you think about the ending? I know that we were both kind of choked up.
Oh, so like the whole time, that whole movie, through all the traumatic scenes, I wasn't necessarily like really crying until the end, because I don't know, that speech is also just like already a very powerful one to me. It's one of the hardest monologues, by the way, in Shakespeare. Like, to be or not to be is deemed as like obviously an actor's dream, but also the most overdone and the most like obvious choice sometimes. And so a lot of people try to stay away from it. It's also very hard to do. And so the fact that Noah Jupe was able to do this for a camera as well and still be able to hit the big plot points and not have it just be like, all right, we're watching another kid try to do like the Shakespeare monologue, I think is just brilliant. And like, that's just a tale to the directing. Like, I'd want to know, did they have him working on this, or was it more of like, don't treat it like Shakespeare play because this is technically the first time anyone's actually hearing these words, just like do it fresh and let's see what happens? Or did they actually like work the text over and over and over again like most people do when they're performing Shakespeare? But yeah, man, I don't know, that ending was like the nail that solidified everything for me. I think there was so much about just so many themes coming to fruition of like reaching out and helping people, but then also between Agnes and Will, her finally being able to see like that they actually are on the same page, and his way of like he almost like made his son immortal at this point by making him be Hamlet, and like that's a gift that like he's giving to her, and like you can see the forgiveness between the two of them and like them finally coming together through this play, which then on a whole other level is like, oh my God, like plays are amazing and like they really can do this incredible work, which I love that they kept just kind of that sprinkled in on top of like a like art is meaningful and can change people's minds. Yeah, it was just beautiful.
Yeah, it's great that they have the emphasis of the stage because it was so important, obviously, to what his work was. Yeah, I personally felt like the biggest connection with them in the ending scene. So like one of the other smaller gripes that I had with the movie, I'm curious how you guys felt about it. I feel like you get thrown into the romance very quickly in the beginning. I wanted it to kind of build a little bit more, and maybe that's why, again, I didn't feel the deeper connection between the two of them, or maybe that's, again, not what you're supposed to feel because he is absent at times. Did you feel that in watching the movie? You didn't?
Because I just feel like at this time in life, it was like you saw somebody and then it was just like, oh, we're going to get married. And like, that's it. Like there wasn't, I just feel like from all my knowledge of this time period.
You're a scholar.
Yeah, it wasn't like people dated. Like it really was like,
do you fancy her?
I fancy you. Let's have a kiss and let's go make some babies.
I tossed my glove on the ground.
Yeah, that's literally what happened. So I'm glad that it kind of, and it also was like, hell yeah, okay, like where are we going on this ride now with these two and like what's happening? I also feel like it would have been a little bit too, I don't know, I don't want to watch them like, ooh, will we, won't we? Like to me, that's a whole other film.
That's fair.
Did you feel that way, Zach? Like you?
No, I didn't
work for it.
I didn't need the courtship. Yeah, I didn't necessarily need the courtship. I was definitely I was surprised at how quick some of the conversations were. Like he was definitely like he was pretty assertive with like or confident too in the beginning, and he was because I think he was coming on to her and I don't know if she was like fully about it at first, and he was just like, oh, I could kiss you. And then I was like, oh shit. I was like, yeah, that's nicey.
Damn quick.
Nicey right there. But that was, yeah, that was like the only point. But I agree with what Liz is saying. I think if it takes a bit too long to set up like the history of them to get to meeting each other, then it loses the focus on like maybe the middle drags even more for you.
Yeah.
So maybe that would have been a problem. I don't know. But it probably would have dragged for me.
Yeah, it was also supposed to be like the dangerous romance. Like they're not supposed to be together.
Oh yeah.
You know?
So forbidden.
The forbidden love.
Yeah.
I don't have much else, honestly. I enjoyed the movie. My score has gone up since setting on it.
No.
But I will say, and when I do, we'll obviously get your guys' last thoughts before we give scores. But, a big thing for me in giving a certain score is rewatchability. I don't think I'll ever rewatch this movie. I think there are scenes of Jessie's that I would love to rewatch, but there are scenes for me that drag, and the movie drags for me.
I still disagree. This is like
That's
the only
fine.
film so far that I've been like, I'm ready to be sat down and rewatch it again, especially now I want to see all the little like things that they've like incorporated. I do have one thing. So I do see that initially Sam Mendes was originally set to direct
Oh, interesting. Ooh,
Tom Holland
as the lead
as Will.
with
I don't-
Jessie Buckley.
They don't say that
Oh,
part,
okay.
but they just say that Sam Mendes was originally set to direct with Tom Holland cast.
Who was supposed to write? Do you know? Because I'm very curious about that, because this movie's co-written by Chloe with the author of the novel. So that's even more interesting to me if Sam Mendes was supposed to direct
It
it.
doesn't say.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't see Tom as Shakespeare. I see him as a
Spider-Man.
big Jupe. No, big Jupe on the stage. Yeah.
Hey, yo, big Tom, big joke.
Yo, to be at the page,
do a little way. Shakespeare.
That's the question. Yeah.
Yo, Noah Jupe is a great actor.
I just derailed what you were saying, Leslie. So sorry.
I just feel like a female needed to direct this though.
And when totally true.
Completely. So then a part of me thinks like, okay, maybe Zoe like or Chloe hyped up like the birthing scenes, and maybe that's why she was like, no, let's like actually like show this, versus if a man had like co-written it, maybe they would have been like, let's not be so graphic.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I do agree that it definitely needed a female sensibility. The other thing I guess I'll say really quick too before, Zach, we get your last thoughts. I've not read the novel. You said you have not read the novel. You haven't read the novel.
Nope.
There were some people that read the novel at TIFF that were very pleased with the adaptation. There were some that were pissed about the adaptation.
Ooh,
So if you guys read it, love to know your thought. We'd love to know your thoughts in the comments, because I'm very curious, because it's not even that long. I believe the novel was written in 2020.
maybe
So it was like
on
very
Amazon
recent-
right
very
now.
recent thing, and I'm curious on what some
Big
people's
book.
thoughts are. Yeah, but Zach, what about you? Final thoughts?
Final thoughts, man. It's a great film. It's a director that people need to pay attention more to. I think Chloe Zhao is not messing around. I think Nomadland was a Best Picture winner that was not my pick for that year, but it was still a very confident, very stylistic piece for Chloe. Like, it was very unique to her abilities as a filmmaker in capturing the individual and capturing someone in their environment. And, she went on to do The Eternals, and that's a studio movie. So there is less control in your distinct style in that kind of circumstance. But in a movie like this, it really helps you focus on your abilities to get your actors to connect with the drama and the emotion of the story. Chloe makes a very strong case for a director nom too. I don't think we talked about that.
We didn't.
I think it's very good performances. So
I will say, according to Gold Derby, she is number 2 right now
okay.
on
What?
the list. So
PTA is
PTA is 1, and I kind of think
Coogler?
she's gonna win.
Coogler?
is 4.
Not to get off topic.
Yeah, we'll go top 5 real quick. PTA, Chloe Zhao, Joaquin Trier from Sentimental Value, Ryan Coogler, and Jafar Panahi. It was just an accident. So that is the top 5 there. Also, really quick with this movie, I feel like there was another thing I was going to say in terms of. Well, I think a lot of the technical noms, it's also going to gather. Like, I think costume design, it's going to get production design. It looks beautiful. It's going to get a screenplay nom. Like, it's going to get a ton of nominations. But I think Jessie Buckley is like the runaway. Like, she's going to win. And I think it'll gather a lot of noms, and it'll get some technical Oscars as well. But I think this is going to be one of those years where we spread a lot out. There's a lot, like, I don't know. This is one of the best years in movies in a long time for me. Like, there's just so much depth to like the types of stories we're getting. And this is a great movie. It's a movie that, as I said, as I've sat on it and in the conversation, it's grown with me. I just don't love it as much as you guys do.
It's all right. You're forgiven.
Thank you, Les.
Forgiven. I
Liz,
love this movie. I can't wait to rewatch it. I think everybody should see it. I think especially if you have any interest or have any feelings towards Shakespeare, you should watch this. It really gives just like a different point of view. Somebody who was speaking at the screening before the screening started from Montclair. What's his name?
Tom Hall.
Tom Hall.
Yeah.
He said he was like, this just opened up like a new way of looking at the play Hamlet alone. So like, if you have any love for Shakespeare, you should go see it. Yeah, I love this movie. It's my final thought.
You want to give your score?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a 10. I'm a 10.
I figured.
I'd have nothing to change, no notes. I think it was perfect.
Okay. I'm going to give it an 8. So I still think it's a good movie. I think that the biggest thing for me is that I have some gripes with it. And like I said, rewatchability is a big thing for me to have it in a different kind of echelon. And, but it's a good movie. And I do recommend people go and see it because it's one of the movies that's definitely going to be in the conversation. Zach?
I'm gonna go 9. I'm gonna split right in between. But yeah, great movie. One of the best quality movies of the year that I've seen so far. It's got a lot of hype, a lot of buzz. Definitely worth checking out. I hope mass audiences show up for it more than they have in the past for this type of film. But it is worth checking out. If you like both of these actors, check it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, if you guys have seen this movie, it's not in theaters yet. It'll be in theaters wide for everybody December 12th. So make sure you guys check it out. I believe it's a Focus Features film. So make sure you guys check it out when it does come to theaters in December. But if you guys had a chance to see it at a film festival, maybe even at Montclair Film Festival, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Give this video a like if you guys can and subscribe to us here at the Culture Wave Media Network. We're officially in award season. So there's a lot of stuff we're going to be covering for the award season. There's already a lot of stuff in the conversation for award season that we've covered this year. We have reviews for Sinners, obviously already. One Battle After Another, Weapons. The Springsteen movie is coming out soon. Sentimental Value. We got Marty Supreme upcoming. They're Wicked for Good. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be coming for you guys. So check that stuff out. And you guys can follow us on social media if you don't already. All that stuff is below me in the video. And it's also in the YouTube description. Just signing off. I'm Darian Scalamoni.
I'm Liz Seiko.
I'm Zach Miller.
And we'll see you guys next time.
This is The Culture.